And with that, we should be live. Quick and easy buttons. There's some things, this technology thing, that actually I've figured out, you know. You mash this button and this thing goes live.
Right.
Other things, it's like, well, our guest can't hear us for 30 seconds. Yeah, you'd think I'd figure that out. All right, Sherwin, I got a little housework to do here, so keep CJ entertained.
Yeah, sure. So were your folks or your family or whoever able to figure out how to tune in live?
Yep, I sent them the link, so they should be listening.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to send it again out via Twitter, and just in case they didn't get subscribed up, or if they don't have I think you have to actually have a Google account to get the push notifications. So I'll send that out now. So you're in Charlotte, I would assume. You got a 704 phone number.
I am.
So.
I am.
I know the Speed Studio was there. I assume Fox Sports 1 kept it there for NASCAR stuffs.
There we go.
That's me.
Awesome. So, hell, I don't, Rusty already told you what we're going to talk about. So, is there, all right, so we're going to get you out of here at 9:30.
Yep.
Is there anything?
That's not a hard line. I mean, anytime between 9:20 and 9:35. I mean, I'm a little bit more flexible than I would have been if I was at Todd's house. So.
Yeah, that's cool. We just obviously, like Rusty said, we're always grateful that there's anybody interested in talking to us at all. So we want to make sure that holding you too long is not the. Go ahead.
I'm cool with discussing what brought us together in the first place, talking about NASCAR selling sponsorships and whether or not that's a good thing for the lower series and that sort of thing. I mean, if you want to bring that up, that's fine with me. But that's kind of what brought us together. A debate on Twitter where maybe we were on opposite sides of an issue, but we're all on the same team, so we kind of came together on that.
Actually, I'd love to lead with that because I tried to remember exactly what it was, and I knew that we had some sort of, not really having the same opinion.
I forget who it was, but somebody had said something about how they were going to be annoyed if NASCAR did a choose cone and then sold that choose cone as a sponsorship. And I was just like, hey, money coming in at any level is a good thing because NASCAR is ultimately who we all kneel to. So if they have more money they can promote, we all do better. But he was thinking, just let it be a choose cone. Don't make it the I guess, advanced auto parts choose cone. But I didn't understand why he had an issue with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's everything at the top level now is sold as sponsorship. I mean, hell, they do it in the NFL. They're following the NFL's model on that, and they should because that's a great way to get exposure for a company and to draw revenue.
Right. And if somebody wants to sell something, I mean, it could be somebody that's not a partner in NASCAR, and maybe it becomes the Walmart choose cone. That's a good thing because it's a new partnership. So I didn't understand why he had an issue with that.
Yeah, I think you run it. I don't need to tell you this. You're in the sport. You run into so many people that just want it to be exactly the way it was.
I think a choose cone is a good idea. I think if the choose cone is sold, whatever. It's more money coming into the sport at a time when money is kind of hemorrhaging from NASCAR. So I'm good with it, whatever. I don't know why he had it. I forget even who it was that said that he had an issue with it, but I took issue with that.
Okay. Well, we probably need to go ahead and fire up, right? We don't want to.
Yeah.
We want to get more of you talking like this. Of course, this is on YouTube, so people are going to get to see it.
They're seeing it.
Perfect.
But we also want it to be on the iTunes file.
Yep, for sure. So we ready to go? Let's do a quick sound check. Rusty. That's a little loud. Let's bring her down. Rusty. Okay, that's good. Sherwin. All right, you're looking good. And CJ.
CJ, 1, 2, 3, ABC, 1, 2, 3.
Looking good. Okay, that'll be perfect. All right, so with that, let me make sure I've got this ready to go, and I've got that ready to go, and I've got that ready to go. You ready, Sherwin?
Yep.
All right, CJ, you ready?
I'm good to go.
All right, here goes nothing. We're recording now.
It's
welcome y'all! That's right. This is a Pregame Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast, episode number 112. It's Wednesday, August 30th, 2017. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace, joined in the PTM Podcast studio with Pregame Engineer Andrew Sherman. What's up, dude?
Who told us we could do this 112 times?
Nobody did.
Did we get permission?
No.
Probably should have.
We definitely need to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, that's right. Never ask for permission, y'all. Always ask for forgiveness.
There
Just
it is.
do the thing.
And we ask for forgiveness from our PTM posse. Y'all, this PTM podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. Go to patreon.com/PTM. Join the What You Drinking Club for as little as $1 a month. Get that free koozie. Best part is, every cent in 2017, we're donating that to sponsored drivers. Join the PTM posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. And this show is brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. That's Catherine Kingston, Ashley Stang, Harry Bolzania, Mark Wiley, Greg Smolders, Lori Sutton, Mick Rose, Robert Keplinger, Tony Salt, Colby McClam, Eric Kepner, Ryan Keeper, Marion Levesque, Patrick Cleary, Aaron Bearden, and Jeff Brown. Let's do this, y'all.
Aaron Bearden. That's a good dude.
What a solid guy. Guest one week and official sponsor next week. I don't know what to say with that. So I'll say this. I'm not expecting that out of every guest or anything.
No, that's not a requirement by any stretch.
That's a horrible way to bring in a new guest. Hey, by the way, this guy's an official sponsor now, and now our next guest. But hey, I'm terrible at that, so here goes nothing. Tonight's guest, he's been on the racing scene for a while. He's been announcing for the Cars Pro Cup Series, handling marketing at NTS Motorsports, and he's now the social media producer for NASCAR on Fox. You can find him on Twitter at CJ Walliver. Welcome to the show, CJ. What's up, man?
Hey, guys, thank you so much. And the fact that you introduced me as the former Cars announcer, that's awesome. I didn't think anybody knew that about me. That was great.
Well, I am a bit of an internet sleuth, if you will. So I like to do a little snooping around and finding out. And he is I guess I could come up with like, oh well, he's an Aries. He lives at 1234 Charlotte Street in. No, I didn't go that far. I didn't. What is it called? Docs. I didn't dox.
Okay.
You.
That was awesome, though.
All right. Cool. Well, just so you know that part is on your LinkedIn profile. That's public. So.
Okay.
That was my cheat there.
I guess I forgot about that. But yeah, I worked for the Cars Tour for a single season. Tony Stevens has the job that I used to have. I kind of went into NASCAR after that. But that Cars Tour, to anyone listening, if the Cars Tour comes somewhere close to where you live, go and watch them because they are putting on an incredible late model show these days. I am very proud of what they're doing. So that's a plug real quick for the Cars Tour. They're doing a great job these days.
That's fantastic.
Hell yeah, Weaver's all the time plugging those guys.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Sure, do they ever come up here? When do they come up?
I don't know.
They have to come up to Atlanta.
We'll go look. I mean, with the way Gresham and Lanier have been sort of shuttered to the touring series, it may be a challenge for us. But what we ought to do is just, as we did with Eldora, is we should plan a weekend trip up to Hickory and just get her done up there.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
That's close to my neck of the woods. So you guys just give me a call and we'll all go to Hickory. I miss Hickory.
Trevor Townsend up there in the booth at Hickory. We owe him a handshake and a trip up there for
sure. Absolutely. You know, before we get too deep into this thing, Sherwin, the one thing we got to ask everybody, CJ, what you drinking on tonight?
Tonight, Midnight Moon, Junior Johnson's Moonshine. That's what I've always got going in the kitchen.
Holy moly.
Attaboy.
Flavor's pretty good to me.
Well
Junior
done.
Johnson's Moonshine. A couple of years ago, I did an interview with Junior Johnson at the liquor store here in Concord, North Carolina, right beside the racetrack at Charlotte. He bought me a jar, and I have been a fan of it ever since. So that's what I've got going on tonight.
Boy, it tastes better when Junior Johnson buys it for you.
Yeah, no kidding. Not just makes it, but buys it.
Right.
He bought me a jar. That jar he moonshine, so that one never has been opened. But I bought a jar myself, and so yeah, I kind of got into the moonshine scene with Junior Johnson. He swears it's his family's recipe, so they used to make the highest quality stuff. It's pretty good.
That's fantastic.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Sherman, what are we drinking on? What did you do? You just opened a jar or something.
I did open a jar. So we like to keep like things relevant. Okay, so what I have here is let me read the label just so I don't get it wrong. Southern Shine Moonshine Peach. It's a South Carolina Spirit. We're going to South Carolina to race this weekend.
Yes, sir.
So that's my relevance there. So we're going to sip on that tonight. And I've got a Shinerbach beer from Shiner, Texas, because hashtag Houston Strong. Mm-hmm. So we got all that in here. And you've got some leftover stuff from Eldora, awesome Indiana IPA that we bought. That's a really good beer.
Dragonfly IPA.
Dragonfly IPA.
Yeah.
So we come prepared.
right. As usual, the PTM liquor cabinet is strong.
Pretty much.
Well, CJ, let's start with this. How's it going? And tell the folks what you're up to and what you're doing over there with NASCAR on Fox.
Well, we are planning for a big weekend, and of course, everybody knows that it is NASCAR Throwback Week in Darlington, South Carolina. So they have all of the retro paint schemes going on in Darlington, but I do have to remind everyone that there are a few throwback schemes that are going north of the border this weekend. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It is a doubleheader on Sunday. It's not just Darlington. So we're going to have NASCAR Camping World Truck Series action. That's Sunday at 2 o'clock, the sit-up show with John Roberts and Todd Bodine starts at 2 o'clock on FS1. So much racing this weekend, but just remember, it's not all in Darlington. We got some trucks action coming up this weekend, too.
Yeah, we'll have to try to get some of that going on in the campground, but I guess the tweet up will probably be right around 3 o'clock or so.
Something to DVR.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we can convince people.
Some good news, too, for everyone in Canada, because it is Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Everyone in Canada will be able to watch through Fox Sports Racing coming up. If they are in Canada this weekend, they'll be able to watch that with no authentication. We're going to make sure that all of our friends north of the border can watch that road course race, so we're all excited about that one.
Man, that's
fantastic.
Here's like a few goosebumps for me here, just thinking about the what Fox is doing for everybody there. That's really cool.
Well, it's great, and the more we do this, the more we realize how many people north of the border are NASCAR fans.
Yep.
And we run into new ones every day. We've got some that are committed followers, committed Twitter interactors, are sponsors of this podcast. So we love some Canada.
Yeah. Sherwin, CJ, I've been in Milwaukee this week up until just now, like walking the door and time to do a podcast. So I hadn't been able to pay attention. Who has the best throwbacks so far? What's going on in the world of throwbacks?
I know what I would say. Go ahead, CJ.
As far as Darlington goes, and I was looking just before we came on air because I was positive that you were going to ask me that question. And I scrolled through all of them just to kind of give myself a refresher, and Denny Hamlin's running an incredible scheme this weekend that I think is cool. Joey Logano's got a nice shell throwback, Jimmy Johnson, but I've got to say it, Austin Dillon, without a doubt, I think, has the coolest throwback in Darlington this weekend. Going back to that old Wrangler Dale Earnhardt scheme with the 3 on it, I am excited about that one. I think it looks incredible. They did a good job with it. That old blue and yellow, that takes me back to my childhood. So if I had to give my vote and kind of put my name on a throwback that I think is the best, I think Austin Dillon kind of has it. Now, Ryan Newman is kind of paying tribute to the same scheme with a different number, so that's cool. I got to give Ryan Newman a close second, but that 3 on that Wrangler car just looks incredible. The nostalgia gives me cold chills.
Very impressive. And you've got to do the 3 right if you're going to do the 3 right. You know what I mean? Like you can't half-ass it.
Yeah, you can't half-ass that.
Yeah, you got to go all in, and it's got to be good.
Whole ass.
Yeah, full ass on this.
And I think it would look a little bit cooler with maybe a 2 on it, just because my old school Dale Earnhardt fans know what I'm talking about there. So maybe it looked a little bit cooler if Brad Keselowski was doing that one, but we know he's not going to. The 3 makes sense too. There was a 3 Wrangler car as well as the 2 Wrangler cars, so I'm happy with Austin Dillon's ride this weekend. I think it looks fantastic. Now in Canada, they are doing some NASCAR throwbacks too, and I've got to hand it out to Brad Keselowski Racing, because Austin Cindric is going to be running a scheme that is reminiscent of Brad Keselowski's dad. in his scheme.
Oh, cool.
So that's going to be cool too. So we've got throwbacks all over the place this weekend, and the trucks are going to have some too, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what I'll tell you about Brad Keselowski is they'll have another shot at this because technically this year was supposed to be 85 to 89. Not everybody obeyed that sort of loose rule. So Brad could still run the Rod Osterlund, Dale Earnhardt number 2 Wrangler car in another another Darlington race.
True.
So hopefully we'll get to see that.
And the thing is, too, I like Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s throwback to his AC Delco days, which I think looks really cool on the junior car. But come on, guys, that's like what? That's 1998, 1999. That's way past the threshold. But I guess Hendrick Motorsports can kind of do what they want to. It does look cool, but it doesn't really go with that 85 to 89 theme, if you ask me.
Well, and why not, if you want to do that throwback, why not in a couple years from now when they pick 95 to 99, why not have Junior run the Xfinity race that year? He's already said he wants to run a couple, 2, 3 for maybe the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dale Jr. next year, it's going to be a lot of fun because I think Dale Jr. showing up, just hypothetically, because he said he might want to, the Iowa race.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that'd be outrageous.
Which is historically a fun race because, you know, I might be giving away what I think about that as far as the Xfinity series go, but that Iowa race, it's always a standalone event. It's just Xfinity drivers. And so they do a good job with that. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. showing up to throw his name in the hat for the Iowa Speedway race, trying to put people in the seats, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited about next year with Dale Jr. and him just kind of showing up when he wants to.
Well, one-offs for sure, and he'll have two options for weekends in Iowa, at leleast for next year. But looking forward, like, let's see him in a truck at Gateway, or you know what I'm saying, like whatever we're doing, doing, let's get him interested in wanting to do that thing, because what we're going to see, we've said this before, CJ, is we're going to see the best Junior we've ever seen, because his behavior and his attitude is not going to be tied to how he's performing in the Cup car. And so he's going to be positive. The guy that wins Twitter every week, we're going to see that Junior every day.
Right.
Yep.
So we've
go ahead.
I'm
excited about that too, because I think he's always had so much pressure on him, and I can't imagine to be what it's like to be Dale Earnhardt Jr., to pick up the mantle of your father after all of a sudden, 75% of the NASCAR fans need somewhere to go and someone to hang on to. So he's had so much pressure his entire career. I am also looking forward to Dale Earnhardt Jr. showing up to race just because he wants to race, just to have a good time. And so I think that'll be fun too. I mean, you never know. We might see Dale Earnhardt Jr. running on some dirt in Eldora in a couple of years, and that would be incredible too. We'd love that at FS1. So, Junior, I'm putting out the plea. Come race some dirt at Eldora.
Hell yeah. You know he's going to be in a late model at Myrtle Beach. You know he's going to show up at Hickory at some point. Maybe that's when we align our trip to Hickory.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Sure, we talked last year. We talked, last week, about the number 11 car, and it's almost an obligation of Denny Hamlin or whoever's going to be in the number 11 that a number that legendary has to have a great throwback. When you're talking about Waltrip and Labonte and Allison and Foyt and Andretti and Bodine and Baker and Parnelli and blah, 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 blah.
Parnelli, yeah. Didn't Pearson even drove that number
everybody,
a couple times?
Everybody drove that thing. And not just drove it, won in it, Yeah,
we facetiously called that number a slut because of how many awesome people have been in that car. But, like, that car is NASCAR.
Right. So, speaking of numbers, the big news this week, if you're just kind of going crazy, Sherwin, you're wearing a number 9 hat. I happen to also be wearing a number 9 hat right now.
Mine is kind of number 9 poster behind your head.
There's a number 9 poster behind my head here. It's kind of double entendre with a little bit of throwback. I mean, we're talking about throwing back to the 2000s, so I don't know if we call that throwback, but it's throwing back a little bit with the Casey Kane number 9s here. But number 9, Chase Elliott. I got goosebumps on top of goosebumps.
Dude,
now.
I freaked out. I'll be honest with you.
Freaked out. CJ, what's the scoop? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll be honest. I had no idea that this was coming until yesterday, and I feel like
that's
I did
impressive.
my best to have my finger to have my finger on the pulse of what's coming down the news wire in NASCAR. And until yesterday, when this news broke and Hendrick tweeted out that hype video, that I'll be honest, I think is one of the cooler hype videos in NASCAR history, talking about legacy and how they're going to have so many young guns adding to their legacy next year. I think it's incredible because there are all of these Dawsonville, Georgia fans that have had these old 9 shirts and 9 hats in the closet for how many years are going to be able to bring those back out next year, and it's going to be relevant because they're going to have an Elliott in a 9 car. So I think that's incredible. I think it's a good idea for Hendrick Motorsports because they're going in such a different direction. Make sure that you tap into that old school that made NASCAR successful. But one thing that I thought was interesting is the 5 is going away from Hendrick Motorsports. And I looked at a chart today. 2017, sorry about that, I skipped a year. 2017 is going to be the first year in the history of Hendrick Motorsports that they have not had a 5 car. So I think that's definitely an interesting tidbit there. But William Byron, a kid that just came onto the scene a couple of years ago, has won in everything that he's raced so far. He's going to be driving the legendary number 24 car next year that just a couple of years ago was driven by one of the greatest in the sport of all time. So it's so cool having another young gun coming onto the NASCAR scene, kind of breaking into NASCAR in such a big way, driving that 24. Having old school Elliott family, lifelong fans have that 9 to cheer for again. It's incredible. I applaud Hendrick Motorsports for everything they're doing right now. The 5 car not being there is going to be weird, and hopefully we'll get some news soon on where Casey Kane's going to be next year. But incredible stuff. I am so excited for Chase Elliott in a 9 car in 2017.
Man, you hit on something here, and I wrote down 2 other things. I said Chase to the 9 car, Ford or SHR going to Ford, and Carl Edwards' retirement are like the 3 things that nobody saw coming. Otherwise, we always joke about NASCAR being the worst kept secrets. Are they announce it 4 days after everybody knows what's fixing to happen. But this is right up there with SHR going to Ford. We're like, what? And then Carl Edwards just saying, "Hey guys, I'm out." That was holy crap. What's going on? And then Chase to the 9, unbelievable. And the second part of that, just think about the number, what's going on at Hendrick. You kind of alluded to it. The 24, the 9, the 88, and the 48. I mean, that's strong right there. That's so cool. The history and everything with that, Sherwin.
Yeah, well, so when I first ran across the hype video, I watched it thinking just, 48, ton of tradition, 24, ton of tradition, 5, ton of tradition, 88, new tradition with Hendrick.
Yeah.
A lot of tradition and history. If you look at, Dale Jarrett and you look at Waltrip and all that, and Dygard and all that stuff, then it got to the 3rd number, right? So it was like Alex Bowman in the 88. Yeah, we all knew that. Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Duh. And then it said William Byron in the 24, and I was like,
record scratch.
Holy spit. I know what's happening next, and I'm freaked out. I was like calling people, I was texting, I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, people don't understand how much this means. Like, and we full disclosure, we didn't become fans until after Dale Earnhardt died. Basically, that was the first race I watched. I dragged Rusty into this thing.
Wow.
By the time we really got into what was happening in the sport, it just made sense to be a Casey Kane fan because he was new and he was in the 9, and Elliott had just left that, and we like that history and all that.
It all worked out.
We're Georgia guys. We born and raised in suburban Atlanta, all the stuff. And so to have this come circle back around like it is, and we've already done an episode live with Gordon Perkle Sr. in the Dawson pool room. So we're like all in on this whole Elliott experience. So it means a ton to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the main thing that I'm excited about is Chase Elliott is going to win a race, right? It's going to happen. It's coming. He's been so close so many times, and it hasn't happened yet. And, for the first and I'm hoping he doesn't win a race this year because and and that may sound weird, right? But I want that first victory to be for Chase Elliott in that number 9 car, so that when that siren goes off in Dawsonville, Georgia, it's because the number 9 car just won a race with an Elliott behind the wheel, and I'm not joking. I'm getting cold chills right now talking about
Dude,
that.
more goosebumps.
You and me.
I've got them on video.
Yeah, there they go for me too. Like, if there's anything even remotely appearing like there's a chance that I could be up there at the pool room, excuse me, I didn't say it right. The poo room.
The poo room.
When that might happen, I'm there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Because,
I could die.
and I'll selfishly, I'll get right there, in line with you, CJ. As much as I want Chase to win, to go ahead and get the monkey off his back, for him and his dad both have got their first wins in the 9, and Casey as well.
That's
being
a
Casey fans.
Shunt the front door kind of thing.
That would full circle.
Let's just go ahead and say it. I'm going to pick Chase Elliott to win in the number 9 car for the Daytona 500, and that siren goes off for the first time in a while in Dawsonville, Georgia.
That's a mic drop right there.
That's fun.
I love it.
If not, how about 2 weeks later at Atlanta?
yeah.
Hey, man. Even better. So if I'm wrong, we've still got that Atlanta pick next week, so that sounds good to me.
Well, let's get you one more question before you get out of here, CJ. I know we're low on time here.
All right.
Talk to us about picks this week. Who you got?
Coming up this week, I mean, it's tough because there's so many people that are fast and so many people that are good at Darlington, but I really think that going into the playoffs, I think he's got added motivation to get up there because he has a win, but he's not locked into the chase. Not locked into the playoffs
talking about
yet.
Cucumber?
I think the added motivation, the history of Darlington, my pick this weekend coming up, I think Joey Logano, the number 22, gets into victory lane.
Boom.
I think that's a great pick. I thought about this long and hard today, knowing that we're going to have to make picks.
Yeah.
He has all the skills. So I don't know if it ended up making on the TV show or not, because I didn't watch it yet. I'll go back and make sure. I didn't get a ton of tweets, so I'm assuming not. But like when I hashtag Ask Joey for the Race Hub, it was, look, it's hard enough to win Darlington when you have a fast car. So has the 22 team and Todd Gordon, have they found the speed necessary to give you even a chance to win it? And I hope the answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, CJ, we know we've butted up against the time you gave us. We love that you gave us some time, and we would love to have you on again at some point. Here's the deal. Why don't you close out? Tell us what's going on and where we can find you and all that sort of stuff. It's been awesome, and we hope we can do it again.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on, and I know that people probably have no idea who I am. They've never heard the name CJ Wooliver, but they've seen my work. So everyone, we post every week. I know it's not our portion of the season, but at NASCAR on Fox, we make sure that we keep everyone up to date with everything that's going on in the world of our favorite sport. So you can follow at NASCAR on Fox, my personal account, and I'm at CJ Wooliver. If you forget my last name, it's Oliver with a W in front of it. But coming up this weekend, we got a lot of fun stuff. We're going to go road racing at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the only race north of the border. Coverage begins at 2:30 on FS1 coming up this weekend. So your pre-race action before the Southern 500 is NASCAR trucks on FS1. So everybody come and have fun with us. And, getting ready. We're already gearing up for the Daytona 500. So we'll see you guys in Florida in February. So just keep us going. Race Hub is Monday through Thursday at 6 o'clock. Race day on the weekends. Get you ready to go cup racing. So got a lot of stuff coming up. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, CJ.
Awesome.
This is
Thank you
excellent.
so much.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, absolutely. Give me a call again. We'll do it again.
All right.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Whoop. Well, I might have cut him off there. Whatever.
That's all right.
It's all good. Oh, man. Yeah, he's how cool to have him on. And you know what? He's one of he opens up. He's hanging out with us and all that. But then he tightens up and he's straight into he can totally rattle off the, hey, here's what's going on, here's what's happening, join us, blah blah blah. Like that's his announcer side coming back in.
Yeah, clearly
good to have him back on.
That booth personality and skill set or experience or whatever you want to call it that kicks in very quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
And which is awesome for us because there's no coaching. Like we're the ones that are going to be suckier at this than him, which is perfect, really.
I like it when out of 3 co-hosts, we're the worst 2.
Yeah, that's always the best thing.
Yeah, because then we can just shut up and let somebody else who knows what they're doing talk for a few minutes.
Hashtag 100%.
Well, if we're continuing to tear it down, and I didn't play the noise because we had to let him go there. But I mean, we had a whole race this past weekend, Road America, with Jeremy Clements.
Damn sure did.
Holy crap! How about Jeremy throwing it down?
Dude, that was so cool. I watched the whole damn race, and it was fun. I love road course racing. Mm-hmm. We saw a couple guys out there acting like darts without feathers. We don't need to get into it too deep because some of our friends over at Door Bumper Clear got all the way into that.
Oh, boy.
Actually, everybody's talked about it, really.
Yeah.
But, it was just when it came down to the end there, and we knew Jeremy was going to catch Matt, the fact that he was so much faster, you just kind of knew it was inevitable. The pit sequence happened the right way. Unfortunate for Daniel Hemrick, he had a really fast car. He ran like second or third all day, and then they sped on pit road because they actually changed the rear end gear, but didn't change the digital dash. Mm-hmm. So he didn't speed on the lights, but he sped on the speedometer or on the timeline.
Oh,
on the stopwatch.
Yeah.
So unfortunate for him, he rolled all the way back to 15th. So good for him.
It was funny at Bristol. You remember when we were listening to Junior, his spotter, or not spotter, I guess his crew chief was calling out 3 green, 2 green, 2 green, 1 green, or like 2 red or whatever. Like as he's going,
sure.
Like, hey, here's where you're. That's the only one that I think we've listened to was Junior, who had those call outs. That just made me think of that. Was
so
interesting how on the edge I guess they were going and how much input they were trying to give him to tell him don't speed, I guess.
Sure. And so I would always encourage anybody that's listened to us to listen to Dale Jr.'s podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, because he talks about those things. And he talks about how that impacts the way they're going to approach pit road and how they go about setting it up, and the fact that they were continuously getting beat on pit road. So, like, you have the option to set the algorithm that shows the lights based on RPM of the motor, the computer output,
yep.
the CPU.
Yep.
You can space the amount of RPMs between the lights any way you want. Well, the more aggressive teams space them super close. So, like, all the way to red happens really fast.
Yeah.
And so you have to, like, be really
RPM,
touchy with the throttle. So it's interesting to hear those guys try to figure out what's the best way for us to try to compete. And it sounds like today, more than ever, like Dale Earnhardt in all the throwback movies you'll watch, talking in the 80s, that, second on pit road's worth 100 yards on the track.
Yep.
And all that stuff is like that. I mean, a tenth of a second matters 10 yards, and you don't need but 10 yards to win a race.
Oh, you don't need
or
but,
complete a pass or
one.
not get past.
Yep.
So
sure.
those things all matter.
So we kind of skipped it at the beginning because we know we only had limited time with CJ, and that's so fun talking with somebody who's, you know what it is, Sherwin. I think I found is somebody who is as excited about what just happened and what's fixing to happen as we are. When we get somebody like that, it's always a fun conversation.
It's bulletproof.
Yeah.
In terms of how interesting the conversation is.
So we skipped the driver number segment. We'll go ahead and drop that in right here. It's driver number 12. It's episode number 112. You said it in the intro. Who in the world let us do this for 112 times? But we didn't ask nobody, so we just kind of did
it. There's no podcasting police, as it turns out.
Yeah, no
At least in terms of like doing the show and posting it.
So here you go. Driver number 12, Bobby Allison. Meeting him and everything else and all that. 170 races, 25 wins in that number 12 car. He cheers me, so I got a drink. So give me 1 second, y'all.
Is that the best win percentage of anybody that drove the 12?
Yes. Well, I mean, we're gonna go with kinda because there's
that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty. It's
was that
pretty
1 out
darn
of
good.
6? Not
yeah,
even
that's
better
actually
than 1
better.
Out of 6.
Yeah. That's actually yes, that is the best. Well, we've got a 1 out of that's a 1 out of 11 as I'm looking through.
One-offs don't matter.
Yeah. No, I mean even the one-offs, there's a 1 out of 9. So yeah, that's the best one.
That's pretty impressive.
25 wins in 170 races,
and also that number and that driver correlates to my favorite throwback paint scheme.
Okay.
Which is Matt DiBenedetto in the Miller High Life throwback.
Oh,
32
hell yes.
with Keen and Corvette parts on the car. That car looks so good.
So you got to give some props to Newman. So Newman,
Hell, he won 7 races as a sophomore. That's pretty damn impressive.
13 races that he won in the number 12 over 252 starts. So,
and like 30 poles too. There's a reason why his name was Rocket Newman.
Oh yeah, it was poles. It was what 3-4 years in a row. We go to Atlanta and we had 2 races, and it was like, well, we stopped going to the qualifying.
Well, remember when we freaked out because there was 2 reasons we freaked out. One was Kyle Busch wrecked.
Yeah,
entering turn 3, and at that time he was 19 years old, and everybody thought he was an a-hole.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that's changed. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't know what he was going to become, obviously.
Right.
But, yeah, Newman was at Atlanta was bulletproof, but Elliott Sadler in his first shot in an Evernham Motorsports Dodge, the number 19.
The feathers that you got and the feathers that I got.
Parked a 194-mile-an-hour lap, and we were inside for that because the truck race was happening like within 40 minutes. The end of that. So that was really cool.
I seem to remember some of those poles that he got in Atlanta where he was Newman was like 194 and second was like 191.8 or something. And it was going, what in the hell does Newman have?
What is he doing in there?
What kind of nitrous, crazy tire, whatever we're going to call it. Jeremy Mayfield, 3 wins in the number 12.
A very famous win at Pocono in which he moved the Intimidator to get it.
Yes. Oh, man, that's some... now I'm getting goosebumps. This might be the most
NASCAR
goosebumps
podcast. This is why we do this.
On this. Neil Bonnet, how many times have we talked about him? He's won as many times as Jeremy Mayfield in the number 12. 3 times, 3-time winner. Joe Weatherly, we've talked about him before. 3 wins in the number 12. We've talked about Leroy Yarborough with 2 wins. Leroy, yes, sir. And Marvin Porter with 1 win. One person who I have neglected because I figured, I don't know this name too well. Let me go look him up. So our kind of spotlight driver tonight, Ralph Moody, 42 races in the number 9. He has in the number 12. I'm looking at your hat and looking at my hat and thinking about this number 9. Number 12 car, 42 races and 5 wins in that number 12. So Ralph Moody served in the Army in World War II. Listen to this. He drove a tank for General Patton in World War II.
Good grief.
Holy crap, right?
Yeah, hat over hearts.
Hats over hearts here. He raced for 6 years in the late 50s, early 60s. He gathered up 5 wins. The reason you might know his name, he became the co-owner of Holman Moody, the race team and manufacturer. They were throughout the 60s.
Moody rings a bell.
They continue to, Dave Moody, but I don't think that's a relation. But they continue to build some cars today for some of the series or whatever. But that was a huge name. He won NASCAR championships with Holman Moody in 68 and 69 with David Pearson. They won the 67 Daytona 500 with Mario Andretti. Like, holy crap.
Didn't Raymond Parks have a relationship with Holman Moody?
He might have.
I think so. I think so. We're going to find out
Goosebumps
some very
number
interesting
12
things
tonight. Jeez.
In the fall. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that Raymond Parks owned a Holman Moody car that Red Byron won the first championship with. We got to figure that out.
Those are like the coolest names.
Y'all definitely cuss us out if I got that wrong, but I think those things are all correct.
Well, he lived a long life. He passed away in 2004 at the age of 86. Hats off, Mr. Ralph Moody of Holman Moody and everything. That was really cool to look up, really cool to find. It's funny how or going back and looking at who drove these cars and who had wins and stuff. Dude, we've almost it feels like sometimes I'm like, I've talked about everybody. Like everybody who was a
that's a Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah, we
correlation.
Kill everyone.
We can kill everyone. But yeah, we've talked
strangely
about
comfortable with it.
Everyone.
So
and we still have more coming. Like so, not to totally like. What's the word?
Derail or whatever.
Yeah, like there's stuff coming in the fall, y'all. That it's beyond cooler than we can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just tease it a little bit now, and we won't dwell on it.
So we've talked about if we started with 40 something people. So we probably talked about spotlighted maybe 60, 70 drivers at this point. So what's really cool is finding somebody new like Ralph Moody and looking through that and seeing what he's doing and being able to drove a tank for General Patton. I mean, what the hell?
You don't get any more badass than that.
Right. And then decided I'm gonna go racing and won races and start up a team. So what can you say? Before we go to gassing it up, dude, I mean, hashtag Houston Strong and all that stuff. I mean, geez.
Yeah, so today I donated $25 to J.J. Watt's fund, who he took from his own personal donation of $500,000 to now crested $7 million in just 3 days.
Wow.
So I just want to encourage anybody that can give to give. You can find those retweets in our timeline, or you can just search J.J. Watt. He's a defensive end for the Houston Texans. He's from Wisconsin. I guarantee you he loves NASCAR.
Yeah.
You just gonna know some of those guys do.
Yeah.
And obviously we need to be thinking about them. They're got over 1 trillion gallons of water.
I don't even know what that is.
It's impossible.
I don't even know what that is. Like,
I saw a video
pool
of
times
Highway 10
100 billion
on the east side of Houston. It looked like the ocean.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that same one. Like it had like white caps
underneath it.
and
it was white caps. Underneath it is like an interstate.
Right.
So
that stretches all the way to Florida
and certainly some of our friends that we know. I mean, Kayla Nicole. She got to come home and see that her house wasn't destroyed. They're not going to have power for another week and a half, but the home is there.
Yeah.
Saw a Periscope from Evan Stark.
Yeah, the right front tire. Yeah.
He had to drive through some crazy things to get to work today, but the water didn't prevent him from getting there. But it was crazy that it was there.
Unreal.
Unreal. Texas friends, you know what?
Hats off.
That's why the Shiner Bock.
Yep.
Right here. This is for you.
Yep. So on the lighter side of that, Sherwin, I went up to. Is it too soon to make a joke, or I'm making it on?
It's never too soon.
At the expense of some people here. I was up at Milwaukee, and I had Milwaukee, whatever we're going to call it. No less than 3 people asked me, down in Atlanta, are y'all okay? Like, are you affected by the hurricane thing going on? And I'm like, holy crap! They think the South means like Texas and Georgia and Atlanta. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like,
are you?
You think
is this?
We're like 4 states away from there, and so as it turns, here's the irony.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, here's the irony or coincidence or whatever you want to call about it. That hurricane, what's left of it, is turning north. It's going to hit Milwaukee before it hits Atlanta. It's never even going to hit Atlanta. We're thousands of miles away.
Indiana.
Yeah, so it's fun. It was funny to me. There's a hurricane in Texas. Texas is in the South. Georgia is also in the South. How they think,
have they not watched Smokey and the Bandit?
Anything.
It's only 900 miles there and 900 miles back to the closest place in Texas.
The whole movie.
Texarkana.
Right.
Which is actually Jonesboro in the movie, by the way.
Those boys are thirsty in Atlanta. It's going to take a while, y'all.
I mean, Burton Reynolds. It's only 900 miles there and 900 miles back. Why are we doing this? With the good old-fashioned reasons. For the fun and for the money. And there was one other one I can't remember. But, yeah, it's like, man, Texas is nowhere near Georgia. That's why we joke all the time. We're like, look, we love people from Texas. Every time we meet one, they're awesome as hell. Texas is not the Southeast.
Right. It's a whole different,
way far away from the Southeast.
Oh man. But 3 people who were genuinely, and I appreciate that they're genuinely concerned about me as a person and my house and all this
I don't
stuff,
know why they would be, but
fair enough. But I didn't know what to say. I was like,
how you map no?
Right. You're just kind of going, oh no, we weren't. No, it's not going to reach us.
You could do like
have a nice
America
day.
Like that, where like that's the Florida dong. And
yeah.
Texas is like over here somewhere.
Like way. I don't know. So here's the thing. Like it's as far from us. So if you start like mapping stuff out, it's kind of like asking somebody from New Mexico, not New Mexico, like even as far as like Las Vegas. Like. Oh, were y'all affected by the storms? Like, what?
Excuse me, sir?
No, we're not. Are you Are you dumb? So I didn't know how to respond. So
I'm pretty
I just
sure
kind of went, oh, no,
the
we're good.
new tropical storm that just rolled off of the Sahara Desert, because that's how it works, y'all. In case you didn't know, how hurricanes work is hot air rolls off the Sahara Desert in Africa, West Africa, hits the Atlantic Ocean current with all the moisture, and it becomes a hurricane. The current storm they are predicting to be a hurricane that's going to it's going to flow up the Atlantic coast. It's not going to go into the Caribbean, is what their models all say. It's almost as far away from us as the hurricane that's over Louisiana right now and East Texas. And it's like over there by Africa.
Yeah. So I'll say that I appreciate the concern, but let's hold the concern for the people who are actually affected
For sure.
by this
Houston
thing.
strong, Texas strong, hashtag donate. American Red Cross is a great place to send $1 or $2. There's a ton of folks that are doing, I know there's some Lake Norman folks that are doing like a pet thing, but the people that are dealing with pets, and it's really hard to feed pets when you got water everywhere because you can't get food for them. And also...
be good.
Just be good to people from Texas that are dealing with some hardship, because there's no reason not to.
Hardship, he said. SHIP, hardship.
Hardship.
Not hard, stuff. Although that,
Oh, did it come off? Did it sound like the
there was a pause.
cuss word?
Well,
for
they're
poop?
dealing with some hardship.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, hardship.
No, it's all good.
Speaking of that, if you've got a John boat or a fan boat or any of that, and you're close enough to get it to Houston to help people, please do that too.
Yeah. So, Sherwin, you got a few shout-outs this week. Marie Bates I love this hashtag, or I love this handle, by the way, at Hey, it's Marie B.
It's Marie B.
I love that. I wish I would have thought of that and had a, at Hey, Rusty. Hey, it's Rusty. I love that.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, so Marie has indulged me in my ridiculous booby gift wars. And done so with so much enthusiasm that I cannot describe. That's been a lot of fun. Hopefully that when we tag her in our, hey, we shouted you out in the podcast, she'll come back here and listen. I know that she has an associate with NASCAR. That's the only reason why we ever would have come in contact, but that's cool. Hope Davis, the same. She's been sick. She's been following us for probably 2 years. Been a lot of fun interacting with.
At I Hope Davis.
I Hope Davis.
Yep.
And as I wrote on here, our sister from another mister, Miss Ashley Stang. Ashley J. Stang always provides us with our goofy question of the week that we branded as her. And
with the
I can't show you the texts and DMs that I get from her because they are inappropriate.
Raunchy, inappropriate.
For this level of media.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. There's...
Medium?
Medium. So there's this one GIF, whatever we're calling it.
I'm calling it GIF forever. I don't care if people like GIF better.
Well, so, that's in the nerd world where I live, that's like a big point of contention.
Oh, it's a fist fight.
Yeah.
But it's like Dungeons and Dragons fake fist fight.
Right. So here's... For me, the guy who invented it, he calls it GIF, and I like to respect that. Like, here's a guy who invented it. Now, most people say, screw that guy, he's a moron. Somebody would have came up with this anyway.
It should be JIF if it's GIF.
Right. I don't disagree with that. Is
he American? Did he speak American English?
Yes.
Then it's GIF.
It's
got to be GIF.
Here's the thing. This in Milwaukee, I drove a Hyundai Santa Fe.
Hyundai?
Now, I know it's spelled Hyundai, or pronounced Hyundai, but I drove a Hyundai. That's what I drove.
Well, you didn't finish the word, though. It's Hyundai.
Oh, yeah. If you go crazy. I drove a Hyundai, and I'm watching a GIF. Dadgummit. That's where I'm at.
Son of a...
biscuit.
Somebody's talking about hot dog sandwiches somewhere.
So there was a GIF of that I've seen rolling around, and I don't know if it's supposed to be inappropriate or appropriate or just funny or whatever, but every time I see it, it's that girl who has her eyes closed and her mouth open, and somebody throws 15 hot dogs at her face.
15 cooked hot dogs at her face. Yes.
And
that is a fantastic...
That might be the best
thing.
Animated image so I don't have to go into GIF war that I've ever seen. And I don't know if that's appropriate. I don't know if it's cool, if it's not cool, what's going on. But you throw 15 hot dogs in slow motion in somebody's face, I'm going to laugh.
Well, that's funny. There's another one where, like, girl's got, like, 8 of them in her mouth, which is not appropriate.
This is not appropriate at all.
And, like, the best one that's probably not appropriate is Lindsay Pellis running on the beach. So y'all just go ahead and Google that in your GIF machine there. LINDSEY space PELAS. You'll find out why she is an internet sensation and has been.
All right, dude.
And we're probably going to lose followers over that. I don't know. I don't know though. I mean, the folks that are willing to participate in the booby GIF war,
the booby GIF war.
they seem to like it. All right. I don't know. I mean, most
funny.
I'm not catching too much flack over that.
With that, let's gas it up.
All right. Oh hell, we ain't even gassed it up.
Oh, I know. Where we're going.
We're gassing it up Friday morning.
Yes. Yep. Gassing up Friday morning. We're taking it down to Darlington. We're gonna and shout out to Brandon who showed me and showed you the light. Brandon Crowd from Lap Traffic when he brought that tent over to Darlington. Not I keep saying Darlington when I mean Eldora, and I don't know what that mental block is. But
you flopped them earlier too.
I've done it. I've done it like 1,000 times. It's unbelievable. I don't know what it is.
Freudian slip, but NASCAR.
Yeah, but not like butt stuff.
Wait, what?
What? It's Freudian slip without the thing. No, it's he had that at Eldora. This it was straight out of the cartoons. You know, out of the cartoons where they take a tent and they throw it and it boom. Yeah. It
was like the old Mickey Mouse thing where they drag the pull behind up the mountain. And it was like it's this big, and then they get there and they're like mash a button and it goes, boom. And it's like the top floor of the Hilton in Vegas.
Right. So I'm getting the Hilton tent here shortly. I got to run over to Walmart. They got it waiting on me over there. Up the street, man, and that means, dude, that we kind of got to retire the Coleman, and I don't know what to say about that. Like, it needs. You know what?
We may have to set it on fire at Atlanta if it's cold.
That's a good,
and just be like, hey, man,
yeah, that's a good way to go.
Run.
It could also be like we bring it to Darlington every year as the throwback tent, just to be. Just to be funny,
I would be willing to set it up just for that.
But not this year because it's apparently going to rain. So we're definitely doing this.
Actually, have you seen the forecast?
Is it getting better?
It's getting better every day.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
that's excellent.
Yeah, it's getting better every day.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. Good deal. Anyway, so
fingers and stuff.
Yeah. So gassing up, really Lady in Black. Good. We're doing our thing.
I believe this is 100 proof.
I was going to talk about that being 100 proof earlier, and I forgot because it is 100 proof, and I've been drinking on it.
It's really good.
And that is, it's called Southern Shine Moonshine. That you said it was out of South Carolina. This is the peach version, 100 proof. And, I mean, we're just sipping like it ain't no thing. That is it's delicious. Water. Yeah. All day long, twice on Sunday. Here's the deal. Who you picking for the Darlington? I mean, I don't even remember what the sponsor is. I mean, it should be the Southern 500.
Oh, it's Bojangles, them Bo-Tato rounds.
Oh, them Bo-Tato rounds, baby.
Yeah, gotta get them Bo-Tato rounds. You know what? I've been thinking about this, and I really never landed on the spot that I thought I would land on. Just because, I mean, this is going to be a race where you're going to have to be fast. However, the surface has aged to the point where a driver is going to have a very significant impact on how they run at this race, which means they got tire management.
Mm-hmm.
And we know some guys can manage tires and some guys can't. All right? So I'm going to throw Joe Gibbs out of this thing.
Okay.
All right, just off the top. I'm throwing him out. Look, Kyle Busch is one of the best racers we ever seen. Kyle Busch is not going to win on Sunday night, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to see is, I don't know that. I mean, I would be just considered a homer if I picked somebody from Hendrick Motorsports, so I'm not going to do that. A team that's already won there, a driver that's already proven he can go really fast at big racetracks.
Don't pick who I'm fixing to pick.
I'm probably picking who you're fixing to pick.
Go for it.
Actually, you know what? Out of fun, based on our earlier conversation.
It's cool. I mean, you got like a 1 in 43, or not really 43, maybe
38,
12
39,
chance, really?
40.
Okay. Do it. I want to hear it.
I'm going to pick Brad Keselowski.
Okay, that's not who I was going to pick. Awesome.
In Midnight. Rusty's Midnight.
Yep, I love it. I had picked this guy before we even came on the show, and then Jeffrey Whitler I saw as we were going along. He had texted it, and we talked about him earlier, and CJ is rooting against him in a way, in a kind of fun irony way. Chase Elliott, I've got at this rate. I just got goosebumps again.
There it is.
I gave myself goosebumps. That's retarded, or that's stupid. I
you
shouldn't
know
use that
who
word
is-
anymore. That's
You know who's never won at Darlington? That's probably the most significant.
tell me that.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
So that would be a sentimental.
That'd be
deal.
huge. That would be so huge. That would be ridiculous.
It would be. I'm not going to say the word I almost just said because it's not a word you're allowed to really say anymore.
I might
It would be crazy. As hell.
yell cry. One of those Junior, holy crap! Like it would be that.
We might have to just go back to camp and shotgun or do shots so that we go to bed immediately instead of celebrating all night. No one.
Yeah.
By the way,
What that means.
we did forget about one thing we need to talk about.
Okay.
Georgia Tech versus Tennessee on Monday night.
Dude. Yeah.
We don't have to delve into it
No,
because
no,
we
we're
still
coming
got a
right back.
campground episode. We don't need to forget to do.
Yeah.
this.
No. Right. Yeah. That's crazy. Here's the thing. So here's something funny. So college football kicking off. We're going to be coming back Monday morning so that we can go back in the new Arthur Dome, as we call it here in Atlanta, for Arthur Blank.
Arthur Dome.
I know it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but whatever. It's Arthur Dome.
No, it's Arthur Dome.
Yeah, all day long. Just like the
We
Jerry
were told to
Dome or
trademark
whatever.
that by a friend of ours, by the way.
I mean, that's what everybody calls it. There's no trademark to be had. We probably weren't the first, and we won't be the last.
Somebody's already got that Twitter handle, I guarantee you.
No doubt. So we were talking when I was in Milwaukee. One of the coworkers up there, he said, now he was a Navy kid, or his dad was in the Navy. He traveled, every 3 years they went somewhere new. So he doesn't really have like a home base kind of thing. So he doesn't have a college football team, is what that comes down to. And he went to it wasn't a community college, but he went to he might have went to like Marquette or something, but didn't get into it because it just wasn't the thing. Point is that he said he's never really had a college football allegiance. So he was proposing to us. He said, I know y'all have, talking to several different ones of us, I know y'all have pretty strong allegiances. He said, what if you had a kid and that kid was like the starting quarterback of your biggest rival team? Would you wear that jersey? And I said, all right, listen. Here's what I want you to understand. If he, being a Georgia Tech fan, if he was a starting quarterback at Clemson, I would be at every Clemson game with a jersey on my back with his name across it. If he was a Virginia Tech starting quarterback, I'd be at Virginia Tech with the Hokies and all that, and doing the thing and keys and whatnot, all the weird stuff they do, whatever that I make fun of. I'd be there.
Play.
Yeah. I'd be doing that. That's cool, right?
No, put my keys.
If he was a starting quarterback at the University of Georgia, I would not wear that jersey. I'm just saying. As a college football fan. Now, here's the crazy part. If then he became the starting quarterback at the Saints, yeah, I'd wear it then. Yeah, because now he's making money. Now he's bringing home the bacon. Let me do something here. But if you're going to be my biggest rival, if you're going to be there, I can't see a situation where I'm wearing that jersey, Sherwin.
No, I can only be nice.
I wanted to get your opinion too, just because.
No,
I was pretty strong on this. I was like, I couldn't do that.
I can only be nice to that place for people that are very respectful. So I have a very narrow window.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish my dad had.
Oh, sorry, I distracted Sherwin.
I wish my dad had been a little bit more direct when it came time to all right, son, are you gonna apply to school at University of Georgia? And I'm like, pretty pleased with sugar on top. Put that application in file 13 with the other. I don't want upsetting Georgia fans.
Oh no.
But I mean, it's
you got to understand what a rivalry
the passion.
is. It's fine.
Rivalry is rivalry.
Fine.
So
I'm fine with if
it's
you're listening, you're a Georgia fan, no problem.
What's
It's
really
just
cool
I
is
can't wear your jersey.
We get to renew. So throw that other stuff, that legacy stuff aside, or whatever it is. we get to renew an old school SEC rivalry with Tennessee because we haven't played them in like 30-something years or whatever it is.
Yep.
And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And, as scary as it is for everybody, they're breaking a new quarterback. We've got a new quarterback. We threw our best running back out of school. Apparently, that's not something to be too concerned about, depending on who you talk to. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be in the Arthur Dome. We're gonna get a very interesting experience. I don't know that I've talked on the show about my experience with the Georgia Tech ticket office and how hard I had to go with them.
Make sure went all out. Make sure we had seats at the Arthur Dome next to each other.
I mean, so here's
it wasn't cordial.
Here's what I'll say, y'all. It never got to an ugly place, really. But when the first person answered the phone and said, this is Georgia Tech ticket office. How can I help you? And I said, you need to put a manager, preferably a director, on the phone because this conversation is not going to be pleasant.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, yes, sir. Right away, sir.
And so they did. She did. And he was available. It was right there. We had a conversation that arguably for 10 or 15 minutes was not pleasant. When people call you out for things that you're supposed to be strong for. I was once identified by an employer as visual management champion. And then I was told on the phone that I missed all the visual cues that would have allowed us to sit together.
Well, yeah, and that means
I don't think so,
6 of
asshole. I didn't say that because that doesn't do you any good on the phone with someone you need something from.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was very nice. I was stern but nice, and we got what we wanted.
Yeah, yeah. All right, with that brings us to Strange with Stang, dude.
Oh, Lord.
Ashley J. Stang, she sends us, let's see, let's get it there. All right, here we go. It's a long one. Y'all bear with us. She says it's a what would you do question. There's a headline out there. Some man smuggles McDonald's into prison, like with a fishing line. And if I'm trying to be southern, I mean, he smuggled some McDonald's in there.
It's a McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's definitely McDonald's.
Yeah, he got his McDonald's in there.
But fishing line? I don't.
I mean, I guess he somebody. I don't know. It's not very visible or whatever. He just kind of. How do you get caught? I guess the other thing. He's sitting there munching on a McDonald's hamburger. I don't know. So, question is, you've been sentenced to 10 years in prison for a crime you didn't commit. Would you take the chance smuggling in that would tack on another 5 years if you got caught? And how would you get it in? Would you help each other, or would you say, F that, I'm not taking any chances?
It's a scatterbomb version.
There's a lot going on there.
She told me not to edit this. She actually called me bad words.
Oh, man. Like gave you some ish?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so I read the whole thing.
She always uses bad words.
I didn't say I didn't say the F thing. We're trying to be PG-13 here. So.
Yeah. So far, we haven't been audited, y'all. We're going to try to stay that way if we can.
Yeah. This is a hard one because here's the thing. Like if I'm sentenced, and she said it's like you haven't been, or a crime you didn't commit or whatever. Here's the thing. My number one goal while in prison is to get out of prison, and I would say legally too, so that like I don't like have to be on the lam or whatever,
Oh, to get out as quickly as possible.
Right. I want to get out as quickly as possible
100%.
with full support by the people who have imprisoned me. Right. Like they say, okay, he has done his time or he's good to go. So I mean, I'm going to be a saint if I'm in prison, and as much as I can be. So hopefully this crime that I didn't commit isn't like, Capital One or capital murder, something or other that puts me in the places where you got to choose a gang or something, all that crazy
This
mess.
ain't Shawshank Redemption. I ain't trying to make a chess set.
Right.
Right? Rita Hayworth, God bless your soul. I don't need that poster so I can dig a hole behind you.
Yeah.
And try to escape through a river of poo-poo.
Right. What she should have asked is, you've been sentenced for life without parole. Now what are you willing to take
Now what?
Anything.
Risk.
Anything. Throw me whatever over the wall. I'll eat it. I'll smoke it. I'll drink it. I don't care. If I'm lifer, shoot, just, whatever. I'll get McDonald's hamburger. I'll get a hash brown. I'll get them potato rounds that we were talking about from Bojangles.
That's one of the social arguments about life imprisonment and how those folks get locked up is you just gave them a free pass to behave however they like because they know they're never getting out.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like one of those weird, all right, this is a social experiment. How do we figure this out?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to let me out after 10,
I'm gonna be a
maybe
saint.
even on good behavior after 8, I don't care about any contraband. I am behaving.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
I'm keeping
good.
myself from a couple different things that we don't want to describe and not winding up on the wrong side of another confrontation that requires a sentence.
Right. Well, if the movies have you think of something like, all right, well, now you got to pick a gang. You're either part of the, like, Aryan Brotherhood, which...
American History X.
Like, we're both white, so that's what we would, quote-unquote, have to go with that we don't want to go with. Or you have to be like somebody who is a scab at that point, who, you didn't pick one, so he's got nobody to protect me. I don't know how that
scab, you're doing a lot of crazy stuff. So this is a dark place that we wandered into.
We went far down that one.
We don't know how to deal with our NASCAR audience is probably not going to be real familiar with this unless they're watching new shows like Orange is the New Black or the up-to-date movies about prison. For sure, go watch American History X if you hadn't. You'll learn something, but. Yeah, like I'm staying away from this. I'm not contrabanding. There's no
I'm cool.
amount of anything you could sneak in that's worth 5 years more imprisonment.
No. But if I'm a lifer and they want to throw on 5 years on top of life, I'm bringing everything.
Probably slitting somebody's throat at some point. Like if that's what?
Yeah, that's how it is. Well, with that, dude, you know what? Let's start closing her out. We're gonna bring it up here. Well, we're going to Darlington. What can I say? We're going to have a blast. Unbelievable throwback weekend. I don't know what to say other than y'all know where to find us. It's at PETM Podcast, as if you don't know. And as always,
and just about every damn place.
Oh, everywhere. Instagram and blah 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 blah. Just call it. We're there.
Hell, I don't know if we're Snapchat.com. We're not probably going to do that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm Tailgate Mayor at Tailgate Mayor.
And I am Pregame Engineer at Pregame Engineer. We will be at the Tweet Up. So look for Bob Pockras, Jeff Gluck, and Nate Ryan, Kelly Crandall, any of those folks. They're going to tell you where it's at. It's over by the Budweiser Clydesdales in front of Darlington Raceway.
Special shout out to CJ for joining us today. We had a blast. We had fun. Thank y'all. And we'll see y'all soon. We'll see everybody over there in South Carolina here soon. Thank you for joining. Talk to y'all at Darlington.
Hell yeah.
Other than going to the racetrack, this is the most fun thing we do. Woo! All right. I just got to find this thing. Turn her off. There it is. Booyah. An hour and 3 minutes into that. Y'all, our show notes today were like maybe a quarter page. Like
37 minutes of content.
There was barely anything. And
with a guest.
Fill in by BS and hope it sounded okay. I had a blast. That was fun. That was fun as always. What can I say? I've been, I said it. I've been in Milwaukee.
Are we still live on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So CJ DM'd. He said, "Hey, heard what you guys said after I got off the show, and thank you for the kind words. Made my mother and my wife very proud. Would love to do it again. Had so much." CJ, if your mother and your wife are still watching, we cannot wait to have you again.
Absolutely.
And we'd love to meet you in person.
That was fun.
If the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. We've had multiple people now say that this is the most fun they've had doing an interview or show or whatever. And so we always want people to come on and have fun with us. So, Sherwin, I got to go to the little boy's room. I think it's time to shut her down on the old YouTuber here. Thank you all for joining. We've had a blast. I hope y'all have had fun. Y'all know where to go. Y'all know where to be and where we're going to be. So thank you for joining. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out.